Hello everybody, my name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be discussing what we should be looking forward to in our next upcoming game very soon against the Denver Nuggets. New look Chicago Bulls, new look Aiden right now, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I decided to go clean shaven. Yes, I look a bit weird, but that's okay because at the end of the day, we are here about the Bulls and not really about me. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and what would you like to see in this next game against Denver. Now, again, I think I've made a couple of videos leading up to this moment, which is absolutely fine. But just to kind of sum everything up, I guess, in that next game against Denver, I also do want to announce I do intend to live stream a watch along once again for that game against Denver. So all of you guys that were in that last one against the Bucks, or all of you that want to come to this one against Denver, feel free. It should be on the channel somewhere at around, I can't give you a time frame because I'm from Australia. I don't really know what time it is in Chicago, but whenever the Bulls game is on in Chicago or in the United States, I should have a watch along as well, so you can join in, watch the game while watching with me as well, or if you're not watching the game, you can kind of chat along with me and stuff like that. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it will be a good time. But here are the things that I'm looking forward to against the Denver Nuggets. Number one, and this is the most important thing, I don't care what anybody says, is how the identity will continue from Milwaukee to Denver. Again, I've said this to everybody, and I truly believe so. I think it's great what we saw in the first half against Milwaukee. The ball not sticking, the three-point shots, I guess going out in transition, even the steals in the first quarter. All of that was amazing, but it won't mean much if we go to this game against Denver and we're playing ridiculously slow, the ball is sticking, it's isolation, it's pick and rolls, and there's not much going for the Chicago Bulls. So I want to see the identity continue. Pretty much in every single way. You kind of set the identity, you set the tone that you want to play with. And I think a lot of people were in approval of that tone, even at the loss against Milwaukee. Now that you set the tone, I wouldn't necessarily say the standard, but the tone, you got to ensure that that continues in the future games. There's no point in having one game where you're moving the ball really well and it's fantastic to see, then go right to the next one and you pretty much revert back to everything that was wrong with the Chicago Bulls, if you know what I mean. So, look, I completely understand that it's not going to change overnight, but you should at least have the attempt to try and change it. And if we do revert back, I won't necessarily be furious with the Chicago Bulls because it is just preseason and they do have so much to work on, but it won't be a good sign in my eyes if they're going to revert back to hero ball, isolation, stagnation, no movement offensively, ball is sticking everywhere, and you just become a little bit like, I mean, what we saw in the first game is just completely different to what we see now type of situation. So that's the first thing that I want to see the Chicago Bulls, I guess, maintain, that identity. Number two, I've said this in a video before and I'm going to say it again. I do think we need to see a fairly more realistic, I guess, lineup for the Chicago Bulls. Now, when I say this, I don't necessarily mean don't play the bench warmers or don't play the training camp guys, the non-training camp deals. What I'm saying is we saw a lineup, right, where we saw the complete bench, which would be Javon Carter, Torrey Craig, Andre Drummond, Ayo Dosunmu, and then we saw Patrick Williams in that lineup as well. Basically a complete bench with maybe one starter, and that starter was Patrick Williams. And I do not think we're going to be seeing that in the regular season, I'll be honest. I think it's going to be very similar to how we kind of saw it last season and 2 seasons ago, where you're either going to have Zach or DeMar on the court at all times. You're very rarely going to see one, if not both of them, on the bench together. So I want to see a little bit more realistic in that way. And try to set the tone in that way as well. So when we see the bench unit come in to the game and most of the bench unit is there, or bench unit and Patrick Williams is there, I think you need to see Zach or DeMar there as well. I think you need to see one of those core players there at all times, in my opinion, at least for that first half. You know, second half, third quarter, fourth quarter, I don't really care who we play. You can play the complete bench. You can play the training camp guys. That's fine. But if you're going to try and set a tempo and set a rotation for the Chicago Bulls, and you're using the first half to do that, I think you need to be more realistic with that, in my humble opinion. But that is just me. That's what I would like to see, and hopefully we can see that happen. I've said this before and I've said it again as well. I'd like to see Kobe White and Patrick Williams start once again for the Chicago Bulls. Now, I have received comments kind of saying like that it doesn't necessarily matter if they start in this next game against Denver, as long as they start again in preseason. I'm okay with that. If they, if the Bulls decide, hey, I want to start Javon Carter and Torrey Craig in this game, then they start Patrick Williams and Kobe again in the third game, I don't really have a problem with that whatsoever. But I do believe Kobe and Pat both deserve another opportunity to start in preseason games. So I'd like to see that. I'd love for that to be next game, but even if it's not next game, whenever it is, I'd like to see that, and I think that should be a big priority because Kobe White played really, really well. Patrick Williams, I thought, played okay as well. There were some moments where it was a little bit, I guess, frustrating to watch maybe, but he knocked down some three-point shots. He took some good three-point shots as well, and he should be proud of that. So, yeah, overall, I think both of them has kind of earned the right to start another game in preseason. I was also like to see the steals and deflections. This is one of the things that I was kind of worried about in that game against Milwaukee, is that did Milwaukee kind of make it too easy for the Chicago Bulls in the sense that it made us feel better than what we are? Or maybe we were actually so strong defensively that we forced Milwaukee into horrible turnovers. So if we come into this game against Denver and we're stealing the ball like crazy and we're getting out in transition once again, then it's going to make me believe that maybe the Bulls are just this strong defensively and we're looking to have an even better defensive season this upcoming season. So I'd like to see how the defense and the steals and deflections will work in this game against Denver as well. Will we get a lot of steals, a lot of deflections, a lot of transition points, or will Denver, I guess, kind of show that the way that Milwaukee played was kind of because they weren't ready to play, but Denver probably will be ready to play. Keep in mind, Denver is having their preseason as well. They played games. The Bulls have played their game. So both teams will probably be in this more fitter than they were against Milwaukee. And in Denver's, I'm assuming, first game as well. So these are all the things that I'd like to see for the Chicago Bulls heading into this next game. I'm not looking for Zach LaVine to drop 25 points in this game because, again, he's only playing a half, and we do have to find more ball movement in this team, and we do need more people to step up, and preseason is the perfect avenue to build that confidence. So I'm not expecting Zach DeMar or Vooch to drop 25, 30 points in these next upcoming games. Of course, it'd be nice to see, but it's not an expectation. But I would like to see that identity really remain the same. There's no point in starting to build an identity if you don't finish building that identity, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of what I'd like to see continue for the most part. And I think everything alongside of that will build to the identity part as well. So let me know in the comments below what you think. And again, I hope to see you guys in that, I guess, live stream against Denver. If I do it, 90% sure I'll be doing it. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I will end this video here. Thank you all so much for watching. Drop a like and a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. I will see you in the next Chicago Bulls related video. By the way, if you're watching this outside of YouTube, the live stream will be on YouTube, so feel free to check it out. Just wanted to make that clear. If you're like watching it on TikTok or something and you're wondering where the live stream is, it's not there, it's on YouTube. Anyway, have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.